paid for by Marvin Lowe. The views, opinions, and commentary are solely those of host Marvin Lowe and his guests and are not endorsed by Wolf Boom Radio, this station, or personnel.
The Inside Pitch, a positive look inside positive people from the sports, entertainment, and business world. Now, here's Marvin Lowe.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Inside Pitch. I'm your host, Marvin Lowe. Our program guest is J.D. Arland, a 19-year-old graduate of Carmel High School in Carmel, Indiana, and an incoming student at Purdue University. A young man whose passion is and always has been broadcasting. J.D. has broadcast sports and news for 6 years, and he will have some entertaining thoughts and some aspirations to share with you. My teammate in the WHBU studio is our producer, Nick Isbell. Hey, J.D. Arland, Nick Isbell, to you, to our local listeners, and to those of you who hear us streaming live at 1240WHBU.com. Welcome to another edition of the Inside Pitch.
Good morning, Marvin. Good morning, JD. How you doing?
Doing great. Thank you guys so much. Good to be here. Thank you for the great intro.
Yes, and it's great to have you here, JD. And if you would, since time flies so fast on this program, if you would, tell us more about yourself, of your passion for broadcasting and community service. And feel free to share your message, your aspirations, your dreams. Share it all with our listeners this morning. JD, take it away.
Well, Marvin, thank you for the kind introduction. I am flattered. You said it best. I'm J.D. Arland. I'm 19 years old. I'm from Carmel, Indiana. I grew up here in Indianapolis. Broadcasting and community service are what I do. I got my start about 6 years ago as a 7th grader doing the PA system for Pop Warner Youth Football at a stadium in Celebration, Florida. And from that point on, broadcasting has been a big part of my life. I moved to Carmel because of my father, Drew, his job. He's an executive at Fiat Chrysler. And I chose to go to Carmel High School because of their broadcasting program. And what a decision that turned out to be. I was involved in the WHJE radio program as well as the Carmel High School CHTV TV station, broadcasting sports and news every morning. I started my own podcast called Live from Spruce Drive, and I'm sure we'll get into that a little later.
Right.
But at Carmel, I also did student government as a 3-term class president, and I was able to pair both of those skills together to create market school events countless times. I had a lot of fun in high school. Carmel High School is really unique in that it prepares students for college and it gives them the real-world opportunity that they might face in the adult world in their professional life. And I'm just so thankful to have gone there and to graduated from there this past May.
Right. Yeah, great school. And, I have to tell you, you know this, of course. I want to thank my daughter, Tracy, because she sent me an email in which, she recommended that I get you on this program. And she said, and I'm looking at the note here, I know J.D.'s mother from the Carmel Clay Public Library. So obviously,
that is right.
Your mother and my daughter have met.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, definitely heard the last name before. Yeah, my mom does work at the public library. She does fundraising for the Carmel Clay Public Library Foundation. So we meet a lot of people, and a lot of opportunity, as you can tell from my presence on the show today, comes from that as well. So thanks for reading that.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Well, our producer here, and he's a young guy, too, a little bit older than
just
you,
but
but Nick Isbell was just reading the bio that you sent me, and I'll tell you, J.D., and I always love to put Nick on the spot like this, and that is, he always asks some of the most intelligent questions on this program. Yeah. See, I just set him up, didn't I?
But well, JD, as a fellow person who went to a high school in Indiana that got his love from radio from a previous high school, I went to Pendleton Heights, so I can understand where you're coming from when you went to Carmel. I know when I was looking for programs to get taught in radio, Carmel was on my list, but Pendleton happened to work out a little better for me. But I got a question and a comment. I want to say first that as a person who's been doing radio already for about 10 years, almost 11 years now, I'm always happy to see younger people, especially, get interested in broadcasting in some way and do it. So I want to applaud you for that. Thank you for keep the industry alive in some respect. And then I also want to ask the question of now, I looked at your bio here, and it was saying that you did some stuff in Georgia. You have worked. You have a political science minor when you go to Purdue, and you're looking to become a personality for the Purdue athletics and everything. Now, my question is: one, are you straight TV? Do you go back and forth between radio and TV? And two, what was the moment that you really kind of decided, okay, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life? Because looking at it, not many people that get in this business at 19 start a podcast and start interviewing people. They have to kind of do the grunt work, and you kind of went out on your own and did it that way. So that's my question is, what was the moment when you were like, okay, I think this is what I can do for the rest of my life?
Well, first, I'd say that I go back and forth from TV and radio quite a bit. And if anything, the podcast has strengthened that. I used to just be in TV, but I found that TV is pretty hard to broadcast sitting in a public library. You need some more equipment than just a microphone to broadcast on TV. So I started the podcast because that's how I could get my message out there. And so I've gone back and forth between radio and TV since then. As far as how I got my start, as I've gotten older, I found my true passion for helping people and for sharing their message. This show is the perfect example of what I eventually want to do, and that is just sharing the stories of people and sharing their kindness to try to inspire people to live their lives better. Both of my parents battled and defeated cancer, and watching the kindness that other people and organizations showed to them during their struggle inspires me to do the same for people. So I think that's what gives me the motivation and the drive to keep going in this industry, to actually share my ideas and to share what I'm thinking. But beyond that, putting a spotlight on some of the best things that this community has to offer. Indianapolis is a special place. It gets some press coverage around the local media, but some of the things that go on in this city and the surrounding area are astronomical, that get no coverage. So it's kind of my mission to increase the coverage of the Indianapolis area and share some of those inspiring stories from all around the state, from all around the city.
That's great. And what's so nice here, you guys, and I'm speaking to the two of you, yes. JD and to Nick, is for me to just sit here and listen to you guys say the things that I feel and would like to say and have said, and I commend you both. Well said.
Thank you.
Well said. Very
and a little piece of advice for you, JD. Some I learned early on in the radio business. Whatever the job is, don't turn it down. Just get your foot in the door somewhere. Get your foot in the door somewhere.
Right. And
absolutely.
JD, there's so many things here. The young people today, technology, to so many of them, it's a piece of cake. But to some of us, some of the people with a few more years on us, it's foreign. And I don't know if you've ever thought about maybe putting a class or a program together, or, in my notes today, I say something about have J.D. Arland share thoughts with your organization. Have you ever gone out to service clubs, church groups, other groups like that, and told them how to do some of these things, like podcasts and the like?
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, for sure. So as a senior at Carmel and even as a junior, I was in charge of helping some of the younger kids transition into high school and teaching them, not only how to do the things that we do in this industry, how to press record, how to white balance the camera, how to point and shoot, these types of things. But I also taught them about the message of broadcasting and the reason why we do what we do to share ideas. So getting that experience at Carmel of actually showing the younger kids how to do things and why we do them, I think is the best example of that. I know there are a lot of volunteer opportunities. We talked about my mom in the public library a little earlier. I know there are a lot of opportunities. They have tech week for some of the older populations. They have younger people come in and show them how to do basic things like apply for jobs, check their email, update their LinkedIn. And I'd be absolutely willing to do something like that. I mean, I think the only way that technology can spread is from the ground up. And from the people that already know how to use it, it's their duty to show the rest of the population how to do it as well.
And I hope I say this right here, but JD, just remember, too, there are so many senior citizens today who are really youthful. They're young people inside. They've got a few more years on them, but they've never quit asking questions. And I guess I can say I kind of pride myself in saying, I may be 83, but I'm a walking question mark. How's that work?
Yeah,
what causes that to happen? So hey, with that thought, we only have one break on this program. We're going to take it right now, and we'll let our listeners know you are listening to the Inside Pitch on News Talk AM 1240 and 103.7 FM WHBU. I'm your host, Marvin Lowe, and we will continue right after this. Welcome back to this edition of the Inside Pitch. I'm your host, Marvin Lowe, and you're listening to News Talk AM 1240 and 103.7 FM WHBU. Our program guest is J.D. Arland, a 19-year-old graduate of Carmel High School in Carmel, Indiana, and an incoming student at Purdue University. A young man whose passion is and has always been broadcasting. JD has broadcast sports and news for 6 years, and he's sharing thoughts on his passion for broadcasting with us this morning. JD, a lot to talk about. I'm sure you have some more thoughts. Take it away.
Absolutely. So, first of all, I was thinking about it on the break, and I just wanted to give your daughter a quick shout-out, Tracy, for all the help that she's given me with this show and for being so great with the Guild. We get our Girl Scout cookies from her daughter and from her, so I don't know what I would do without your daughter, so I appreciate her, appreciate the work she does for the public library.
Yes, and of course, Girl Scout cookies. We've had the studio full, haven't we, Nick?
Literally full.
Yes, we've had them full of little girls and parents, and we do what we can to support the Girl Scout cookie program. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, just wanted to shout that.
Hey guys, it's JD editing for YouTube. Looks like my recorder went down right after I said that, but it comes back up in a couple of minutes. The only thing that you missed was me talking a little bit more about the Girl Scouts and the cookies that we bought, and then I talked about how proud and excited I am to be a Purdue Boilermaker attending for the third generation of my family. And I go a little bit into that in the next clip that you'll hear, and everything should be fine for the end. Thanks for bearing with me.
So I'm excited to be following in their footsteps in just a couple of weeks and moving into the Honors College. And we talked about the possibility of doing the in-game host, and that's a big name for the Jumbotron personality. So any listeners, or if you, Marvin, or Nick, are out at Purdue next year and you're at any of the sports like soccer, baseball, softball, I'll be running some of the games and little contestant activities in between innings or quarters. So I'm very excited to start that this fall.